Hello honeybees and welcome to the last video of Bookmas day 12. And honestly, I'm so sorry for missing a couple of days, y'all, because y'all, this PowerPoint was so hard to make and I just was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and I was very stressed out about this part. So here we are for day 12. It was very difficult to come up with how I was gonna do this, but I finally came up with the idea through a bunch of help from all of the booktuber girlies. So thank you out there for making all your great videos because they helped me out a lot with just trying to figure out how I was gonna do this. So welcome to the 2024 Book Awards! Woo! And I am your host, Lazara Howard, and also known as Z. So welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Bookmas Day 12, the last day of Bookmas, which is actually crazy. And of course, I'm so excited to be here, guys. I'm just so happy and honored to be your host today. So let's get into it, shall we? And like I said, I do have a PowerPoint here for you guys to see, and here it is. I'm so happy and so proud of this. It's so cute. But here is the PowerPoint. Oh my god, I can't. Anyways, here is the PowerPoint for today's video. It's so cute and I love the vibe. I love the color. I love it. I love the whole aesthetic. Of course, I'm going to display this on the screen for you guys too, so that way you can see everything. But I am so excited and so ready to get into the book awards. And I also will display that on the screen. But yeah, I'm so excited. Also guys, I would like to apologize for the lighting because I am back at home. I don't have as much lighting as I usually do when I'm back at my dorm because I have 1,000 lights, but I don't have that here at home. So I do apologize for the fact that there's not enough lighting, but I will try my best to make sure that I don't move around too much, so that way y'all can still see me, you know what I'm saying? Here are the categories that you will be seeing. So basically I split this into 12 different categories, and we have 12 winners and 12 different books. I did not put the same book in any category. I really did want to shed light on every single book that I read this year, and I'm so excited to get into it. So of course, starting at number 1, we have The Most Loved, and this book just contains the book that stole my heart this year, the book that really had me in love with it. Like, I can think about this book every single day, like it was so good. And number 2, we have Faye Book Boyfriend, the boyfriend slash husband that ate. And when I mean by that ate, I mean that this man really had me in a chokehold. I was like, oh my gosh, like I could love him forever. I want him as my boyfriend, low-key, anything like that. That is what this book contains. At number 3, I have The Most Unique, and this book is a book that is very different from the rest. Like, this book is something that I would have never thought I would read, something that ain't like the rest of them. It's very much different. At number 4, we have a book I disliked, a book that really didn't have my heart this year, a book that didn't sit well with me, somebody that I had to DNF. Number 5, we have Most Shed Tears. Now this one is a book that had me in tears till the end. Like, I was crying my eyes out until the very end of this book. This book had me, okay? And there's a couple of books, but I only chose one for this one. And number 6, we have The Most Memorable. And this book is a book that made me feel like it will stick with me for a long time. Like, I will think about this book forever. At number 7, we have The Most Underrated. Now, this is a book that people don't talk about enough, and I feel like they should. And I feel like a book I loved should be loved by most people, but it wasn't. At number 8, we have Favorite Character, a character who stood out to me, like someone I thought I would never see in a book, someone adventurous, someone different. This is the kind of person I'm looking for this characteristic. Number 9, we have The Most Relatable, and this term I mean a book where I related the most to the character or the storyline of the book. So anything like that. It doesn't have to be their status, it doesn't have to be anything like that. I just really related to this book. At number 10, we have Favorite Book Adaptation. So this can be a book that was adapted to a movie or a show. At number 11, we have The Biggest Disappointment, a book that I was excited to read. It was overhyped and I was like, yeah, I'm so excited, and then I read it and I was very disappointed by the end. Yeah, there is a book like that, and I hated it with my gut, and I think I told you guys this, but if I didn't, you'll know by the end of this video. And last but not least, at number 12, of course, you're gonna be getting the book, my top book of 2024, the book that is the winner of the year, the book that had my heart from the beginning till the end, the book that literally won every other book, that had everything that I needed in a book to end off the year. And so those are the 12 categories, and I'm so excited to present to you the 2024 Book Awards. Now let's get into my winners. Okay, so starting off with The Most Loved, this book definitely stole my heart. Like I said, this book has my heart until the very end. The whole series actually has my whole heart, and you should be getting a hint. You already know I talk about this book so freaking much. I love this book. I love this series. I love everything about it, and I cannot stop talking about it. And guys, this year will be the last year you'll hear me talk about this whole series together as a whole, which is crazy because I finally finished it. But here it is. The winner of this category is the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. It's so sad to see it go. Like, I've loved this book with my whole heart for 5 years. I don't even know. I really love this book, and guys, to say that it is ending and to say that this book is now leaving me for this time until I read it again if I want to, but it's over and this book is now done, and I'm so excited and so happy that I got to read this book. It was so good. It ate. Whew, this book has everything in it that I need. And now this book is different from like the book that won 2024 because there's two differences between these two. This book is just one that had my heart the whole time. Like, I loved it. The characters are well-rounded. The storyline is beautiful. Everything about this book I love, and it's just something that has me swooning, giggling, kicking my feet every single time I think about this book. Like, y'all already saw me tweak out that one time. We're not gonna talk about it though. But yeah, I love this book so much, and I'm so sad that I'm not going to be reading this series next year because I am trying to move on to the rest of my books in my library. So it's just sad to see it go, but it is time. It is time for it to go. It is time for it to no longer be in a book that I talk about in a video. I mean, unless I relate to it or something like that, but other than that, it's just a book that won't be, you know, star in a show anymore, you know. And I loved it, and I literally could talk about this book all day, but I'm gonna let it go. Y'all already know why I love this book. I've talked about it so many times on this channel. I think y'all are sick of me, so just know that this was my most loved book, and I'm so happy that I got to read it. I'm so happy I got to know the characters and everything and everybody about this. Oh, I love this book. Okay, that was very dramatic. Let's move on. My favorite book boyfriend. Now this is a book where the boyfriend was like everything a boyfriend should have been. The greenest flag on the green shelters, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, he's so green you can see like a forest in him. Like, he is a tree. Like, and the winner of this book, obviously this book is not one I have, but here he is, and his name is Adrian Carter from But He's My Grumpy Boyfriend by Anna Conwell, and this is the book, and he was an amazing man. That man had my heart the whole time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he ate it up. He did what he was supposed to do. Like, he was never toxic in this whole time. You know how like there's a grumpy ex-sunshine, but like the grumpy one is like a complete a-hole to the girl like the whole time until he falls in love with her. He wasn't like that. He was just more kind of standoffish and more introverted. He just like felt like he didn't want to be like near her. He was like more black cat than like golden retriever, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was very sweet, but at the end of the day he was still really great, and he was really nice, and he was always kind. He didn't treat her like a piece of crap at all. Like, he literally was amazing. He was like warming up to her in ways that you wouldn't expect and everything like that, and it was just so beautiful. Like, this man literally had the whole world in his hands at that point. I was like, oh my god, man, like, please be my boyfriend. Like, I want you. And one of the other brothers, I forgot his name, but he's also one of the ones I'm looking forward to reading because he's really funny. But Adrian is definitely the black cat of the family, of the three brothers. Like, he's definitely one of those, and he was just like, I don't really want to, you know, no. But at the end of the day, it was still beautiful, and he was still great, and he really loved her. He protected her, plus he was a bodyguard. Just thinking about it now, like, oh my god, like, he had me kicking my feet. And also the book was closed doors, so that also made it really great. Like, it wasn't like Spice, it was more tension than Spice, and I just really love that. This man ate, and all I have to say is I love the black cat energy more than the golden retriever energy, because the golden retrievers that I've been reading lately have just been like complete a-hole to the girl the whole time, but he was never that. He was always great. He was always sweet. Now moving on to number 3, we have The Most Unique. Now this is a book that definitely wasn't something that you would see on Book Talk, something that is not normally written, something very different from anything else that I've ever read my entire time of reading. Like, this book literally was different. Like, it never would have been thought of. Nobody ever wrote it until this person wrote it, and this is the person who wrote it. And that book is The Souls of Lost Lake by Jamie Jo Wright. Now this book was great, and it's the most unique book I've ever read in my entire life. Now let me tell you all of the genres I found in this book, okay? We got Christian, number 1. We got mystery, murder mystery at that, romance, historical fiction. It has all the things that you would love. Like if you love those things, you will find all of that in here. And that was really interesting to me because I love historical fiction for one. Number two, I love Jesus. So I love the Christian books. So of course that was like another one. And then number three, murder mystery. Like all three of those right there like had me, but there's also romance, there's fiction, there's all kinds of stuff in here. But this book literally has everything you could ever imagine in a book. And I just couldn't have imagined that myself. Like I don't think anybody could imagine a book like this because like I said, this book has like never crossed anybody's mind written or anything like that until this woman has came up and said, let me write it. Because like what was this? Like it was good. Like it had everything. And the best part is that it was like a Christian book, and so it wasn't like any like crazy stuff going on in there except for like a hand graze and a kiss or something like that. But it was great, and I was just like, wow, this is really crazy. I was not expecting this to be as good of a book as it was. Like I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like this is crazy. I would have never thought of it. Like wow. And then it just kept gripping me throughout the whole book from beginning to end. It just has so many different elements that you would not expect to be in a book like this. Like especially like a Christian book, you're only expecting it to be so much, but this one had everything. Moving on to the next category, we got the most disliked. The book that I didn't like at all, didn't sit well with me. A book I either had to DNF or continue reading but hated anyway. And the book that won this is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Now, hear me out. A lot of people love this book. I was not one of those people. I got 126 pages in and I literally was so confused. I didn't know where this book was going. I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of didn't even get the point of the book. It kind of just bored me. I was finally getting to the point where like stuff was happening, but I was just like uninterested by this point. So honey, I just say Casey McQuiston, I know you're probably not watching this video, but like if you want to write a book, honey, make sure like in the first 50 pages you explain what the heck is going on, because once you get 100 pages in, it's kind of getting boring. And this book is like 400 and some pages, almost nearly, so it's kind of boring after some point. And 100 pages in, I'm just like, no, I don't want to read this anymore. So that kind of just turned me away from it. Not that it was horrible, it just I didn't see no point in it. There was nothing going on for me. It just was not giving. So yeah, I didn't finish it. It just didn't sit well with me. I don't think I'm ever going to pick up this book again and be like, yeah, I want to read this. Like I want to give it another chance. Maybe we'll see. I don't know the future, only God does. But to be honest, I don't think I'll ever read it. Like in my opinion right now, it wasn't that good, so I don't think I'll ever pick it up again. Next up, we have Most Tears Shed. This book had me deep in the sorrows, deep in the tears, deep in the emotions. This is a book that got all of that, all of the tears out of me. And the book like that was On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This book was beautiful. Oh my gosh, y'all, I literally cried my eyes out for most of the book. I literally cannot like explain how much this was just so beautiful. This was also another book that was like relatable, but didn't win that award. This one actually got the one that made me cry the most because it was very tearful, very much heartbreaking. I just felt like this book had so much like beauty in it. Like it was beautiful, the words were written well, and I just feel like a lot of people actually hate this book. So it's also another underrated book as well. It has a lot of things that could be in any category, to be honest, but this book won the tears for me because it really did have me in tears. I was crying. I was literally bursting out in tears. Like it was that good. Honestly, I was just like, wow, this is like beautiful. I couldn't even imagine like people hating this book. It was that good. Like how could you hate this book? It was so good. Like why do you hate this? Why? But it was so good. It was so beautiful, and I definitely recommend it. Like it was, wow. It just had a, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. All right, y'all, I'm gonna thug it out. We're just gonna stop talking about this book now. But it was beautiful, and I couldn't have asked for anything more that was more relatable to a relationship between parents. And you know, even though this was like an immigrant kind of story, it was still very beautiful, very much tearful. It just had my whole heart in it. It literally like destroyed me low-key. It was beautiful, and so yes, it won the most tears because I was crying through and through. All right, on to the halfway mark. We are at most memorable. So this is a book that really had every element in it. So it had like the surprise factor, it had the relatable factor, it had all of those things plus some more. And something that I feel like I will keep thinking about because it was so relatable, but it was also something that was just like, wow, like imagine if that happened, you know. And that was the kind of book that I have right here. We have The Midnight Library by ᴄʟɪᴜධ. Now this is a book that has been a book talk sensation since 2019. Oh, I was close. 2020. So anyways, this book is really great. I love this book, and bro, I could not even comprehend halfway like what was happening. Like, it was so relatable. Like, I felt the character. What's her name? Nora? Okay, so Nora basically was like this person who felt like she wanted to end her life and everything was just going in circles, and that everything was the same. Boom, she wanted to kill herself, but she ends up in this place. So therefore, it's just kind of crazy, and like, I'm not gonna spoil it because there is a lot that goes on in here, but the fact that this is even possible, like, I don't even remember if this is in here because I don't want to spoil it. Okay, no, this isn't a spoiler. So basically, the books in the library, the Midnight Library, actually are books that she can live through. So she can live through all of these different ones. So basically, all of these are different versions of her life that she can live. And so she jumps in each one of those and she's like, okay, well, do I want to live here? Do I want to live here? And basically, they're just different variations of her life. And so she gets to choose which one she wants to live in. However, will she be able to choose it, or will she decide that she doesn't want to live anyway, is the story. So basically, it's really interesting. I thought this was beautiful. It was so shocking at one point, and I think I talked about this before, but like, I was audio reading this, right? And so I was sitting in the kitchen and I was like, well, I wasn't sitting in the kitchen, but I was cooking in the kitchen. I was listening to this and I was just like, there was this one part and I was like, I think it was near the end actually, and I was like, what and I was just like, no way that just happened. Like, you're lying to me, right? And it wasn't a lie. Like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I was thoroughly shocked. I was just like, there's no way that just happened. And I literally was so like, what the heck? And that's what really had me. I was like, y'all, there's no way that just happened. Like, that's actually nuts. That's crazy to happen. And so basically, it's just a turn of events for real. And also, one person in here is like very interesting to the story, and I never thought this would be part of the story, but it was very sad at the end. It also got me some tears by the end. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Cried my eyes out at the end. I don't know what happened, but it was really crazy. Well, I know what happened, but like I said, this is a book that really had me like, wow, like, I'll think about this for the rest of my life. Like, it'll really make me think about my life decisions and everything that's happening in my life, as well as like the things that can happen in other people's lives, and just being grateful and appreciative of what I have now, because to think that your life could be like this or be like that, you don't really want that. Like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, TBH. So you kind of just have to live the life you have and make the best out of your life, instead of trying to live another life when that might not even be the life that you're really looking for, is kind of the lesson I got from this. And it was really beautiful. But yeah, it's something I'll think about for a while. I think low-key, like, I would read this again just to get another life lesson, just in case I want to decide that I don't want to live anymore, you know, again. This was really great, and so I will think about this book for a long time. I think for a while, just like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is another book I'll think about for a long time, but that was kind of a last year thing, but this is this year for sure. Okay, moving on to number 7, we have the most underrated book. So this book is basically a book that really should be talked about more, but it's not talked about enough. Enough people aren't talking about it. Enough people on Book Talk aren't talking about it. People have read this book, yes, but it's not a popular book, and it's not a book that most people will rave about, because it's not the book that most of us get on the Book Talk sensation kind of app. Here is the book. Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. Now, this book was great, amazing, show-stopping. I cannot even ask for more. This book was great. This book really had everything it was supposed to have in it, I feel like, and it's underrated. Like, I thought it was a good book. I rated it a 5-star, I believe, but it was great. And I first found this book through Destiny, another booktuber, and I just was like, wow, this book is great. And I think more people should be talking about it. I feel like, yes, I've seen some people talk about it, but not enough, because it actually is a very beautiful story about a woman in a small town and a famous man who moves to the small town. It's a short little book. Okay, this rich guy, but this screenwriter, which was very unique. I thought this was very unique. A screenwriter plus an actor, and then like the actor acts for her screenplay, which was kind of interesting. Like, I've never read anything like that before for me, and so I thought this was really cool and something really different that not a lot of authors are writing about nowadays. So I thought it was interesting. Not a lot of people do. I just thought it was great, and I highly recommend it. I think it's just underrated, and I feel like it should be talked about way more. Next one, we have my favorite character. I've been waiting for this one because I have a character I love so much, and I really love her, and she's just such an inspiration. And yes, this is a YA novel. This is a YA novel. Yeah, we got 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This book was so great, y'all. This was so crazy though. Like, I was so interested and intrigued the whole entire time. It is a YA novel, so basically there's about this girl named Shori. She's a princess, and so basically she has to go through this like adventure with her stepmom, her evil stepmother. So basically she's like the Cinderella, but she's not. And so basically her father is married to her and whatnot. Her mom died, whatever, and like her stepmother is evil, and she kind of curses her siblings, all her brothers, the rest of her brother, the 6 brothers, into crimson cranes. And so this is a story about her trying to get through the triumphs and all of that stuff about it. But I just personally love Shori's character. I think she was amazing. I loved how she was brave enough to continue going. She kept fighting for herself. She did not give up, no matter if nobody could see her. Like, she did not give up. She really wanted to keep fighting, and she really had a going spirit. I think that her brothers and all of them were like, oh, you're crazy, but like, she's just this, she was like the black sheep of the family. Like, she's different. She has these powers that are like supposed to be forbidden and everything, and so it's just kind of interesting to see how she goes through it. And I really love Shori. I thought she was amazing, just going through the triumphs of like being the black sheep of the family and everybody thinking that she's like crazy or she shouldn't do that, when instead she's amazing and she's brave and she's very powerful and she's great, and she just has to learn how to control these things and everything like that. And at the end of the day, she has to be the one to save them all. So who's really the black sheep? You or me? You know what I'm saying? So I just really loved it. I really loved her. Now we got the most relatable. Now this is in terms of a character who I related to, or the storyline I related to a little bit. And in this case, it was a little bit of both. And the book for this was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yay! I know, y'all are so sick of me talking about Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know. It's okay, because I'm going to continue reading her books, and you will continue to hear me talk about Taylor Jenkins Reid. So it's never gonna end. So anyways, I love this woman first and foremost, but the character in here is Nina. I was about to call her Nora for a second, but Nina is the character. And so basically it's about the 𝚟𝚑s, and the 𝚟𝚑s are this famous family. They are all surfers. Most of them are surfers. And they got this famous dad, ᴟᴜɪᴜ. ᴟᴜɪ� is like the famous dad. And so they have the rest of the kids, boom, bow. And bro, this story was crazy. Like, I love the fact that we got the part where it was about ᴟᴜɪ� and the mom, and then we got the story about the kids. And basically this was mainly about Nina. Nina's an older sister, okay, right? So this is where the relatability comes in. Nina's an older sister, and so basically she really is taking care of her siblings. She's not really caring about herself. She's really just trying to make sure that they have a sufficient living, and she kind of had to take over after her dad left and everything, and her mom kind of, I think her mom passed away. I'm not really sure which one it is, but anyways, it's a whole thing. And basically she's an older sister, and I just felt like the situation was very much relatable, where like you had to take the step in and be like the older sister who tried to take care of them. That was very much relatable for me, and I just felt that in my soul. I actually cried a lot in this book too. This was almost the winner for most tears shed, but I was like, this is also a character I relate to the most because she is an older sister. And so that was the point where I was just like, oh girl, I feel you. Like, I understand everything you're going through, like not wanting to care about yourself, but you care so much about everybody else and just don't take care of yourself, which is not good, and I've learned from my ways. But I'm happy she also at some point gets to do that. So I'm really happy that this is that kind of book, and it's really great. All right, next up we have fave book adaptation. So this is a book that had a show adaptation or movie adaptation, and I know y'all might think I'm gonna put the book on here that is not gonna be on here, but it's not. It's in another category. Definitely a book that won my heart for this one is Haikyuu. Now this is a very great Japanese show, so this is Japanese translated, of course, and I love this anime. This manga is really good also. So I've only read the first book, and I got halfway through the second one. The first one is really funny. Like I said before, like way back in the day when I was first reading this, Haikyuu and the show are literally the same. Like, mangas really don't change at all. Mangas are literally the same thing in color, but in action wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally all the same. You can read the book or watch the show and it'll literally be the same, okay? Because there's no difference. Like, the manga is literally what the show is. So it wasn't no big difference, but it was also my favorite manga and also my favorite show that I watched this year, because I was in my phase where I was just watching Haikyuu every single night. And low-key, I might go back to that and watch My Hero Academia also. So I also might go back to Haikyuu. Very great. I do not think I'm gonna waste my money on the rest of the manga books though, because to be aged, like I said, they're the same. Like, it really is the same. So I got the first 3. I don't think I'll be buying any more, but if I do, don't come at me. I might just do it just because. But it was really good. I really liked the book. It was really funny. I I just love the relationship between Haikyuu and Hinata. It was really funny. Tobio Kageyama and Shoyo Hinata. Okay, that's the two. Their relationship is so funny. They are hilarious. And basically it's just about these teenagers in high school and they're on a volleyball team and they're really funny. They're hilarious. I just love watching the show. It's very much realistic to how high schoolers act in school, because I feel like when we watch high schooler shows, it's just like, oh my god, there's these rich popular kids who go through here and they're like the ish. No, it's not like that, y'all. This is like a real life depiction of that. It's just like, okay, these are just high schoolers, they're BSing, and it's a bunch of teenage boys at that. So it's kind of like very much a depiction of what they act like in school, for real, for real. All right, and the second to last, we got the biggest disappointment. A book that was hyped up to the max, hated to the bone. Okay, I did not like this book. I hated this book. I can't believe I actually read it. But Punk 57. I don't have much to say. I hate this book. That's all I'm gonna say. It was about, I hate books that are pornos. So this book literally just became a porno and there was no like real relationship between them. I don't even know. I think he was just obsessed with her in a way, and she was just an entitled, you already know. And yeah. No, and I don't want to be the biggest hater on this game, but let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that they walk, the way that they talk. I hate the way that they move. I hate the way that they, yeah. I'm about to turn into Kendrick real quick, because no. Okay, last but not least, here is the final dealio. My top book of 2024, and this book you might have expected to be in my adaptions, but it's not. It's the book that I love the most this year, and I will not stop talking about it because it was so good, and I just love TJR so much, and y'all already got the hint, but Daisy Jones and the Six. Now this one almost got the adaption one, but I was like, I need someone else because I don't want to have the same exact books in every single category, right? So here we are. Y'all already know this was coming. This was coming. Y'all already knew this was coming. I love this story all the way around. It has every quality, every category, well, almost every category, because it wasn't my biggest disappointment or my most dislike, but most categories this one won for the most relatable, the most emotional, tearful, tear-jerking, the favorite characters, favorite book boyfriends, favorite husbands, favorite everything, favorite children. Like, this book had everything. One that stole my heart, and one that I will remember also for a long time. This book had all of the categories in it like mixed together, and I just thought that this book deserved it. The book of 2024, the book that I could not put down. Literally, like, it was so hard to put it down every time I had to. It was so good. It was just so good. And TJR did her big one with this one. The characters were so realistic. The storyline was amazing. I could not have thought of anything like this ever that has ever been written. Like, it was so good, and only TJR can do this max. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought this was amazing, and it had everything it needed to have. And I just love the fact that all of the characters, like, dynamics were different, and that there was a different storyline between all of them. And I just felt like the surprise factor at the end, oh, like, you'll never guess. Like, I mean, a lot of people have already read this book. Let's not be for fake, let's be for real. But you know, the ending, like, to know who this book was actually about and to know who the story was, the one who was interviewing them, I was like what? Homegirl, where'd you even come from? Crazy. I was like, wow. So this book just had everything it needed in it, and it just had all of the factors that a book won. It jumped over everybody this year, and even the Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation, this book jumped over. Okay, that's how good this book was, and y'all know I'm obsessed with that series. So if a book do that, it has to go. It has to go on the top, and this one was. And whew, guys, to say goodbye to this universe was really crazy. And not that I'm saying goodbye to this universe, because all of her books are kind of interconnected in a way, but this book isn't interconnected with anybody, I don't think, though. But this was great, and wow, this was great. And if I keep talking, I'm going to talk about everything, so I don't want to spoil anything. But it was beautiful, it was great, it was amazing, it was show-stopping, it was unique, it was memorable, it was all of it in a bubble. Everything was this book, and so it has to get the top sequence for 2024. All right, folks, and that was all for my 2024 book awards. Woo! And I'm so excited and so happy to say that this is the last video of 2024. I know, you're probably gonna be like, darn, I miss you, girl, but I'll be back in January, of course, with another video. But I'm just so grateful and so happy. Well, no, I'll be back next Sunday. So this isn't the last video of the year, but technically the last video you'll be seeing of me for like all of the bookmas content, this kind of stuff like that. In the next videos you will be seeing wrap-ups of everything from the year, so you'll be seeing my stats and all that good stuff. But this is the last video for a while, so I'm just so happy that bookmas is now over. This was my first year participating in bookmas, and the fact that I made it all the way to number 12 is actually amazing to me. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very happy that you guys stuck along with me in this journey, and I'm so very much grateful that you were here. So I will be ending the video here, and I'm just very thankful to all of you for growing this channel the way it has in the past couple of years. I started this in my senior year as an escape and in a way to yap about books, and I'm just grateful for every single one of you. So I hope you guys also have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Comment down below the trophy award if you made it all the way to the end of today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. And remember to be true and be you, and please have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!